If you're not already using ChatGPT in your business, due diligence is a great place to start. Here are 5 features without using any plugins you can use right away, starting with summarizing large data sets. So we've got an instance of ChatGPT open here, but we're going to go over to a spreadsheet of loans that were available for sale in the June Mastermind offering. We're going to paste that data in and then tell the system to analyze these assets. See what information we get. So this is just a high-level summarization of the information provided, which is pretty awesome that it can do that just with pasted spreadsheet information. It breaks it down to tell us the current fair market values, the highest unpaid balances. We can see that they're all non-performing second liens with occupancy status mostly of owner occupied. We can even see the charge-off date balances ranging from 2018 to 2021. Information more about the property types, locations. It gives us kind of a breakdown of the geographies and some recommendations here. It's telling us to consider fair market value compared to UPB, to do our due diligence, which we're going to continue to do here, legal considerations, rehabilitation and resale, a whole bunch of information in a high level analysis, which is pretty impressive considering our prompt here is just analyze these assets. You can train this system to give you more in-depth information if you provide that context in your initial prompt. But if we go back, we can see the next step here is going to be generating and organizing tables. So instead of seeing this high-level information, let's tell the system to summarize these assets individually on the loan level. And even with a typo here, we should get a good response. So here's a loan level summary of each asset. So now, as you know, when you're looking at a spreadsheet of loans, you sometimes have to scroll through column after column of data. In this horizontally oriented format, it can be kind of difficult to see exactly what you're looking at. So ChatGPT here is organizing it in a loan level vertically oriented format that we can see a snapshot of each of these informations right off the bat. Now, we do see that it's keeping the response concise and only giving us 6 of the assets that were provided. So if you'd like the system to give you all of the information, you do have to prompt that. And it is asking us, should we continue with the rest of the list? So this is just an idea of how you can use this information to better visualize what you have in store for you. So let's go to the next one here, and that is to tap into the 2020 census data. So now we're going to ask the AI here to incorporate census data into your loan level analysis. Oops. And we'll see how we can get some additional information here. And with the typos and all. So let's see where we can incorporate census data, and the median household income is incorporated here, unemployment rate, population growth, but this isn't giving us good information. This is actually just giving us a summary. So I'm gonna stop that, and oh, actually it did start giving us some more information, but not proper. So we're gonna say stop here, and we're going to redo our prompt and say incorporate census data into the loan level analysis and summarize each asset's parameters below. Sometimes you need to massage it a bit to get the information that you're looking for. And now we are saying that the last update was January 2022, which does incorporate the census from 2020. And here we go. We're getting some information on Chicago, median household income, unemployment rate, population growth, average age of the homes, average age of the residents, actually, average age of the family, average family size, whole bunch of information here. And we can then see just a single asset. So if I wanted the system to proceed with every asset, we could ask it to do the same. Now let's go to the next one here because I'm giving you the high level so you can massage this into your own workflow. But creating and implementing scoring rules is the next place to go. So now what we're going to tell the system to do is let's score each of the locations represented on the loan level data based on, we'll say, viability of collections, since these are all non-performing loans, and see what we get for that. So now we're going to score the locations using factors like local economic conditions, employment rates, property values, local laws, and it's giving us a scoring system breakdown here to start, and then a hypothetical scoring system into a table. So this is awesome. We can take that data that we originally had in a table and then was summarized in that vertically oriented system and then reestablished in a table that you could copy and paste back into Excel for further analysis. So this is great. It's giving us rationale and a viability score for each of these areas. So now what we can do is use these viability scores and continue to prompt the ChatGPT to further refine the data that we've been provided. We can see the highest score here. We see Englewood, New Jersey, Atlanta, and this tracks with a lot of the information that we would see from other note investors doing more human analysis. And that is, for example, urban areas are more often better than very rural areas where the time to sell a property can be very, very long. Urban areas, there's a lot of quick turnover of these homes. And a place like Englewood has, it's an affluent area, so those home values are very high. We can see some lower scores for Sheboygan, Michigan for the smaller economy, and some other small economies have lower scores. So you could certainly, again, change the parameters and the viability that we're using, but in this case, we got the rationale up front and then a breakdown of each of these scores throughout the list. All right, so last one here is to populate emails, letters, and agreements. So this goes a little bit beyond your due diligence process into some of the collections work that you do, and also even submitting your letter of intent to a seller. So let's start out with a letter, write a letter of intent, for a seller to purchase these assets. We'll see what they come up without any additional prompts. Now, what's really great about ChatGPT is you can create a template and then ask the AI to populate that template with information you provided in these tables and other data throughout your prompts. So this particular letter of intent, I'm letting the system figure it out from scratch without really much guidance. And we can see some details of the intended purchase, conditions of the purchase, and a timeline. This is exactly what I would write as well. Having some conditions is very important so you can understand exactly what you're getting into throughout your due diligence between a buyer and a seller. And then timelines are also very important so that the seller knows when you're going to complete your analysis and then pull the trigger to fund the deal. So this isn't bad at all. Now, let's move on to the next step and talk about amortization schedules. So if I wanted to create a modification agreement and calculate the amortization up front, let's say create a create an amortization schedule for one of the assets. We'll just use any asset they choose at a 9.9% interest rate, and we'll do a 20-year term. And we'll see which one it picks and how it calculates amortization. This is an important part of your negotiations in your collection process as well, to show a potential modification borrower what types of terms that they're agreeing to as for an amortization. So this is actually giving us a huge breakdown of the formulas used to amortize loans, and it chose a specific asset with a balance of $23,000, and then we took that 9.9% interest rate over 240 months, and it sees it says calculated here, but it's not actually calculating. So please calculate the schedule. And again, a typo, the system can figure that out. And we're getting a few more rows. This time, hopefully we have all of the data populated. And it's rehashing all of that information with a little bit more detail here. And there we go. We've got interest and principal calculated into a monthly payment, $213.31 per month, which breaks it down and continues for 240 months if we asked it to populate the entire table. So as you can see, there's a theme here. The system preserves resources by redacting a lot of your larger data sets, and then you can ask it to expand if necessary. So that's it for our 5 no plugin necessary features of ChatGPT that you can use to leverage in your due diligence. And we had a little bonus with some collection process information there as well. So please leave a comment below with any tips that you've found in ChatGPT, especially if you're using plugins to incorporate more current data from other sources around the internet, and how you've found ChatGPT to leverage successfully in your mortgage note business. Until the next video, I'll see ya.